Sheikh Hasina left Dhaka on 5th of August 2024, and she had decided to address the Chhatra League people, the youth wing, the students wing of the Awami League, and the interim regime in the beginning, they kept very quiet. They didn't say anything about it, but they allowed these students groups. Now, these students groups are just the Islami Chhatra Shibir. They are the students wing of the Jamaat-e-Islami. All the earlier quota reform movement people who were regular students, they've all gone. They've all withdrawn their support from these, students' anti-discrimination movement and so on. So the students' anti-discrimination movement, and they have a kind of now political platform, Jatiyo Nagrik Samiti. They decided to go on a rampage, and the focus of their rampage was to continue what they have been doing for the last 6 months, wipe out every reference to the 1971 Liberation War. They're trying to destroy every memory there is, and of course Sheikh Mujib's home was a very important memory, very important symbol, a very important, I would say it stands out. Everybody who came to Dhaka, everybody who visited would go there. Any occasion, his supporters would be there. Even on 15th August, 10 days after Sheikh Hasina had to flee from Dhaka, there were people who went there because 15th August was the day that he was killed. So it was a very special, symbolic and real. It was a home where he was shot dead, where he was assassinated with all his family members. If you visit that home, it had bullet marks and pieces of blood and flesh all over on the ceilings, which are kept as they were. It was a very, very important symbol of the Liberation War. It's gone now. They burnt it on the 5th of August itself, but this time they destroyed it. I would say it is definitely Islamic because, and I say this because you're absolutely right what you say about the memory of Ziaur Rahman, and the BNP attaches so much importance to what he said. But what we have noticed from 5th August onwards, that in the beginning the BNP was with the Jamaat-e-Islami, and they have sort of assumed that because Jamaat-e-Islami has been their alliance partner. In fact, when I was High Commissioner there, Jamaat-e-Islami was in government. Begum Khalida Zia was Prime Minister, and the Amir of Jamaat-e-Islami was the Industries Minister. So they were together, and BNP just assumed that now we're together as well, and so we are going to come back to power. But we have seen from 5th August onwards the attempt to say, BNP, no, you are on the side. We're not looking at you at all. And what the Jamaat-e-Islami, who is definitely been the single most important force that was the conduit for conducting this regime change operation, their effort has been to bring on one platform all the smaller Islamist groups in Bangladesh, and there are many of them, and they would get small amounts of votes and so on, and they have tried to bring them together. The Amir of Jamaat-e-Islami has addressed them, and they have said, oh, now you are our father figure. And so there is a definite attempt to Islamize. There have been even the special assistant to Chief Advisor Professor Muhammad Yunus. Yes. His name is Mahfuz Alam. He is now an advisor. In the beginning, he was just special assistant. He is now an advisor. He was the one who was introduced by Muhammad Yunus in New York at the Clinton Global Initiative in September 2024, saying he is the mastermind. And Muhammad Yunus said, don't think this just happened. This was meticulously designed, and here is the mastermind. So the same mastermind, Mahfuz Alam, is also known to be a member of Hizb ut-Tahrir. Hizb ut-Tahrir is a banned organization in Bangladesh, but he is known by everyone. I mean, although he keeps denying it. And he has tweeted, we want a khilafat in Bangladesh. Yes, and absolutely, when I say that they are trying to wipe out, because I think we should see that the alignment of forces on the 5th of August 24 was the exact same alignment that lost in 1971. And they think they have now won, and they think that they can carry out the reversal of history and talk about, because there was Pakistan who was involved, there was the Jamaat-e-Islami, there were the Razakars, and they were all there. And they were on the losing side in 1971, and now they think they're on the winning side. So they are trying to say that we are going back to pre-1971. And this is matched by the intense speed with which they have restored relations with Pakistan. I mean, it's incredible that in just about 6 months, a complete reversal of all earlier decisions. So earlier, anybody coming from Pakistan who wanted a visa to Bangladesh had to go to the Home Ministry. There were, a long delay where you had checking done. Now that's been abolished. Any goods coming from Pakistan had to undergo special inspection. That's
the
been
cargo
abolished.
inspections have been
The cargo ban has been completely lifted, and not only that, there have been 2 meetings between Professor Muhammad Yunus and Shahbaz Sharif, and one was at the D8. They have decided to have a very intense defense cooperation upgrade, and major generals from the Pakistan Army will be stationed in 4 different units in Bangladesh for training purposes. They say training, and it's very worrisome. And they've had an exchange of visits where in the month of January, a senior general from Bangladesh was in Rawalpindi, and he called on the army chief and others, and he spoke about strengthening defense cooperation. He said, we want to buy aircraft, the Thunderbird, the Chinese aircraft, which is now being also made in Pakistan. We want to buy it from you. And then after that, we had a senior DG of the ISI, not the main DG, but the DG for strategic analysis, something. He was in Dhaka, and he had very good meetings, and again talking about this speeding up defense cooperation. So it is being said that the ISI is now suddenly playing a very big role. When I was there, for me this is a lot of deja vu, because a lot of this was happening when I was there. The ISI was very active there, the Jamaat-e-Islami was their conduit, and so when the Jamaat-e-Islami took pole position with Muhammad Yunus, it was inevitable that the ISI would just race back into Dhaka. They are very, I would say in a way, that the ISI never left. Because even in 71, they were still there, the Jamaat-e-Islami was still there, even though it was a defeated force. Sheikh Mujib exiled Ghulam Azam, who was then the Amir of Jamaat-e-Islami, but Ziaur Rahman allowed him to come back. Of course, it is true that in December of last year, one of the first things that the interim regime did was to use mobocracy, mob justice, get the students, the Chhatra Shibir students, to surround the judges, and they were forced to resign. And so they've got new judges. So these new judges in December of last year replaced the caretaker government. Sheikh Hasina, under the 15th Amendment, had abolished, among many other things in that 15th Amendment, she had also abolished the caretaker government system, but they brought that element back. So in a way, you can say the caretaker government is back. But the key aspect of a caretaker government is that it has to be neutral and non-party. And this has been violated, because you have people, one of the people there is from the Hifazat-e-Islam, and he is an advisor to the Islami Andolan Bangladesh. Now this Hizb ut-Tahrir, he's Mahfoud Alam, he's now an advisor in the government. You're right that many of the others are just NGO people, really. They're people who've been with various NGOs.